my squad, drop a tune. When I die, they gon' write legendary on my tomb. And my baby smile bright and slow. I call her saying,
you know, I think, just thinking about it, more recent times, like, guys, like, it's been cool and okay to do that, like, especially when you look at social media, it's fine, but especially growing up, you know, that whole stop crying like a girl and stuff like that, that definitely, like, what Mo was talking about, that definitely takes a toll on you when people tell you to stop doing those things. So, like, I really felt like a lot of times I had to keep my emotions in growing up, and that kind of damaged me, because, you know, when you bottle up your emotions, it just never really turns out to something. So, like, I had to really learn how to, and I know a lot of guys don't even know how to do this, but express myself properly, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of guys do a lot of things because they don't know what they're actually feeling.
It's just crazy because I have two brothers, so I grew up in a house that was predominantly filled with guys, and I've seen my brother cry twice in my entire life. And I was like, that makes you feel like I'm overly emotional, and I'm probably the least emotional girl that I know. Mm-hmm. But my brother crying twice my whole life, and even with my dad's recent passing, I didn't see my brothers cry at all. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was like, I felt like maybe I'm too emotional because I cried a lot. And I'm like, dang, these guys aren't shedding one tear. Like, maybe something's wrong with me. But then I realized, like, it's just a guy thing. Yeah. It's the way they deal with it in their, like, in the silence of their, I don't know, themselves. I feel like my brother would cry in the shower, or, like, when music is blasting, he's just in his zone. But in public, like, I'd be in front of people, like, and they just be like, like, dang, guys are really, really strong, because I was losing it. Yeah, the thing, but I don't know if it's strong or if it's just like they're scared to show it.
They're scared to be seen like vulnerable. Yeah, they're conditioned. Yeah, because the thing is, I have two older brothers. One of them, they cries all the time, like, and it's not like a chill cry. It's like a man. You were laughing. Right. There it goes again. But I'm happy that he expresses his emotions, because he's actually still laughing. I wasn't laughing. Oh, okay. Wait, what happened?
This guy bet you losing it.
Really?
I don't know what is going on.
But I'm happy that he expresses his emotions, because he's actually like a really, I can say my bro was like really, really tough. Like, that was really, really tough, but he definitely cries. My other brother, I've only seen him cry like once or twice. It's not like he's very like tough. He's just like, he just doesn't show emotion like that. It's like when things are going wrong, it's like you hear it when it's really, really bad. You're not hearing it, okay, this is how I feel.
No, I think you guys touched on it well. I think we share similar hearts on the matter. I know for me personally, I had an issue dealing with my emotions as far as taking them to God. I would act like a lot of the things that God would put me through were not really for my benefit, or I feel like, dang, I'm a victim, like, God, how can you, that whole, like, I'm mad at God feeling, like, dang, how can this be happening to me? And so when times did go bad, I would still be in my word, I'd still be praying, but it kind of turned into, like, something that was religious, because rather than just taking time to cry and let the emotions out and be like, dang, this joint suck, or I'm like really give God those emotions, or act like they're not there. And honestly, what I've noticed, well, in my own personal life, that it kind of turned into like a ticking time bomb type of thing too, eventually, where I just started to backslide and drift away from God, because I never actually dealt with like my heart issues. And so I think it is important that guys do, you're feeling regardless, like you can't tell nobody that you're not feeling, but I think it is important that you do address those emotions, because after a while they're going to come out in one way or another, whether it's you're blown up on somebody, exploding on somebody, whether you are and in some situation might be like it turns into domestic violence cases, whatever, and those are extremes. But I think it does come out. In what manner it comes out is kind of where it is scary, because it has to be dealt with the right way. I think God gave us feelings for a reason, and it's not something that and I've even heard this in like different contexts where people will say like, yeah, your feelings don't matter, your feelings are a lie, da da da. And there's truth to it, in the sense that there's times where your feelings aren't good indicators of really what's going on around you. And you shouldn't always be led by your emotions. That's a fact. However, it's not to throw your feelings out the way like as if they don't matter. I think Jesus cried, and I think that's important for us to remember when he cried over Lazarus, and even the fact that there is emotion in the garden, right? There is emotion as you walk this thing with God. I turned this into a God something. But,
God has emotion. A lot of times God was upset. He was,
angry,
mad, sad, angry, stuff like that. Old Testament God was, he was
about that.
I'd be like, dang, so see.
It is important to address your feelings and not just shove them under the rug your whole life. And I'm saying that from a background of being the youngest out of 4 older brothers. Like, I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. deal with your feelings, man. All you're doing is building walls. That's why I love these guys right here, because Gabe is big on hugging hard. He'll hug you until your walls come down. And Richie, no, I'm serious, and Richie too is big on, like what Richie said, like, I'll say I love you, and if you don't say I love you back, I'll text you and see what's going on. That's real. Like, as guys, we need to really be addressing these things, because people aren't okay, and they act like they're okay, and it's because we keep putting walls over our feelings, and now I'm good, I don't care. Like, no, she broke your heart, bro. You care. Like, it hurts. Let's deal with it.
That's a good point.
But
yeah.
I
was about to ask a question, like, how do you guys feel about people like crying on social media?
Define.
I had a bad day at work, but
like video clips.
Tyson C. Bedford, is that the one that was crying?
No, that's you told
Tyrese.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
That's not a live situation. No. That's not a live situation.
What are you doing?
It was funny, bro.
Pull out your
You can never tell me that video is not funny, bro.
You recording?
No, I'm recording right now.
Oh.
I get on TV.
Sorry, hey, Tyson, you my man, bro.
Tyrese. That's a model. They're posting on social media, but like they're crying. It's not solution oriented. Like, what are you trying to get out of this? Like,
I think it's wild.
I think it's kind of more so for attention.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In that sense, to be honest.
Not saying that it's okay. I mean, you know, like, I think people just do things and think that, you know, like, oh, because I did it, you know, the sympathy will make it okay. No, I feel bad for you, yes, but like, that doesn't make it okay.
You need to actually go see your friends in person, like, or your family,
or send the video to your friend.
You might want to like
don't put it on Facebook.
Or say,
Don't send me a video of you crying.
Nah, these days you will get mean, bro.
I know.
And you
need
know
a
what?
safe space to cry.
Yes,
That's
safe
important.
space.
Yeah.
So I did a video on my mom's passing, and yeah. So when I did the video, I was like, "Yo, I'm not gonna cry," because I refused to cry on camera. And then I started to cry because I was talking about something in real life and getting emotional.
Right.
But I could not like keep those clips of me boo-hooing on the, you know, in the video. Like it would be like, and then I cut it and like I would like cry and then like, you know, get, like you don't need to see that. People don't need, so, and people also don't deserve that emotion, if that makes sense to me. Like,
I feel that.
yeah, like people, not everyone in the world doesn't deserve to see you in that space, because some people want to see you in that space, but that's neither here nor there.
But I do think there's a balance between the two, because I made a video like that as well about losing my dad, because I didn't want it to be like, oh yeah, I got everything together, you know, I'm smiling, I'm laughing. No, I'm actually sad. Like, you can relate to me if you lost a loved one before. So I definitely cut out clips because I was crying.
Yeah, but like cut the clips out. You don't have to keep it. Really cut
I cut out clips.
You don't have to keep it.
But I was showing like I was crying. Like, you could tell I was crying. But
or like the makeup drama where they're doing my truth videos and they're literally boo-hooing on YouTube. I'm just like, come on, we just
I think it's a matter of where's your heart at.
Put it in your notes.
Yeah, it can be dangerous, because if you allow yourself to be crying on social media and then people give you all this short sympathy, you're almost gaining this attachment to the people that responded as these are people who care about me, and if they never follow up, then it's like, dang.
And then when everything's okay and then they're negative towards you, it's like how you feel is based on how whoever
other people feel about you. Yeah, or how you perceive that they feel.
Nah, I cry all the time now, but it don't be because of bad stuff. It's like good stuff. Like me and Deb, we
I cry a lot.
So like when I see like triumphant moments in movies, I cry. Like,
I cry.
I was watching Sing.
I was crying all year.
Are you kidding me, Gabe?
I cried during Sing. Yeah, Sing was lit, bro. Yeah, so when the girl Elephant, like she finally sang,
you cried
or not herself. I watched it like twice. I cried both times.
Oh my God.
Last Christmas, like me and Deb's first Christmas together, we were driving from somewhere, and I don't know what came over me. We were like in the car. I can't remember where we were driving. I think to her family's house. I just started breaking down while I was driving, and I was just like, bruh. She's like, wait, what's wrong? And I was like, I'm just so happy.
Oh my God, I love that.
I'm I'm pretty sure I tried
They were
worship
like,
like
I
every
mean,
other day.
Oh, yeah.
Worship, yeah.
No, that's like
That's
a
That's
big
so healthy.
But you see, that's when all the walls come down, your tears will
Oh,
start
yeah.
flowing out.
Yeah. Literally, I stopped wearing makeup to church, bruh. Because I'm just like, I don't have time to be worrying about, I get in there, sit in the, take the jacket off, hands up. I know why I'm here. You know why I'm here. And if you don't tell me I got dry tear stains on my face, don't tell me. I don't care.
Splash Bros, and this drip in your pool. Smash Bros, so to death with our tool.
I think that when it comes to ghosting, people being ghosted or you ghosting the other, a lot of that wouldn't happen if you were kind of sure about what you were doing before you even initiated the conversation or the relationship. I think a lot of times, and some people say that no time is time wasted, I guess, but I think like if you, yeah, I've heard that, but I think if
some people say that.
I think if like why slide in someone's DMs if you're not, and I mean, and people go about it differently, but if you don't really have, if you're not sure, like, bruh, pray, hear, and obey, like, hear from the Lord and then slide through the DMs. Like, don't just slide through every girl and then, all right, this don't respond, so bye to the other 9 that I talked to. But
I think it's because, this is my opinion. So I think guys ghost more than I hear females ghost because guys, listen, I feel like guys are more visual. And it's not a feel. I know guys are more visual, so if they see something, they're like, okay, I want to go for it. So that's when they now know the girl. They're like, okay, this is starting to get serious. And as far as for me, I'm a committed person. Even when we're talking, it's like, okay, I'm only talking to you. Guys, on the other hand, it's like, okay, you know, I can talk to you. You know, we had a girl inside. You know, we're just. This is my opinion. That's why I say we're respecting each other's opinion. Okay,
guys
no.
doing that.
So then when you get to know that,
no, she
that's what I'm saying.
no,
What I noticed, like majority, it's very rare. I know girls have ghosted before, but
right,
majority.
I'm saying both sides do it. That's just I like equality.
Okay,
right.
No, so when you get to know the person and you're realizing, okay, this girl actually wants something serious, like, oh nah, she calling me, I'm not about to answer that phone. And that's basically, if you don't know what ghosting is, that's basically what happens. Like you're talking to someone on a daily basis and they just ghost you, like they're MIA, they're gone. It's like got a blast, like literally they just leave. So that's just my opinion about it.
I mean, I think first and foremost, we have to know that a lot of people in our generation don't think things through before they take an action. That's Christian, not Christian.
That's true.
Whatever. Like, so I think what happens is a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, like, well, with men, you're taught that you're supposed to pursue, you're supposed to take the first step. So I think that may be the thing with the whole like ghosting thing is that I think guys may do the initiation first, but sometimes they may just act because I'm supposed to act or I'm supposed to do something on this when I'm not sure, you know, or whatever. That's why you may know more cases of guys ghosting than girls ghosting, because the fact that guys may take that initiation more often or whatever and start that thing before even being sure per se. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so,
true.
Yeah, so I think, you know, but like Israel said, I mean, it's just uncertainty. So you realize that, and it's not even being unsure, you just start seeing parts. People aren't taught closure. Like, people don't know how to do closure. So for them, it's just like, I don't really know how to tell this person, like, I'm not. That's why sometimes people be in relationships and then cheat on their partners because they just don't know how to be like, I'm not, this isn't for me anymore, whatever the case is. And they just, you know, it's just, and it sounds wild, but it's just easier to just do something else, you know, not like cut off. So a lot of people just leave around like these unfinished projects essentially or whatever. So I think the biggest issue is really closure, and then just that really like that initiation.
And don't open something that you didn't plan to close.
No. So I mean, I don't think. Well, I know some guys who are more motivated by fear to not initiate anything with any girl because they're like, well, if this goes bad, everybody's gonna know that we had talked or whatever, so I'm not even gonna do it, period. So sometimes
I feel like I hear that more now.
Yeah, because guys, they don't want to be known as a ghoster. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to do closure, so I'm not even gonna start. You know, like kind of thing or whatever. But I think the ghosting thing, as far as like, oh, me and you are talking, and then like I just disappear or whatever, is attributed to people just not knowing how to do closure or not really having the guts or the heart to be like, I'm not feeling you anymore.
I feel like that in turn hurts. Like, I'm talking from a female's point of view, hurts the female even more because you're like, dang, was it me? Like, is it because how I looked at, do something wrong, did I see something wrong? That will hurt her more rather than you saying, I don't think this is the right time, I'm not interested.
And you know what? I feel like with the ghosting situations, sometimes the signs be there.
That's true.
Sometimes
That's
the
true.
guy is gonna. Sometimes it really don't be. Oh my gosh, everything was going swell, and I don't know why. He just goes. Sometimes, yeah, it wasn't. Y'all wasn't connecting.
That's true.
Like if you thought y'all was in a relationship, he
It was
didn't.
one-sided.
It was one sided.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's a good point.
one sided.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And girls just be, oh my god, what?
Because
So-
when you're like doing lovey-dovey, you don't see.
yeah, what? You are
Open
blinded.
your eyes.
Oh, and then some people be having sex, and that one is even messing it up. So don't. Yeah, like that's the. Some people be confused and be thinking it's more than what it's not.
Yeah.
It's more than what it is. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's true. That's a good
I personally have never been ghosted.
Okay, clap it up.
Because you're the ghoster.
Right.
No, I'm not gonna lie though. When I was younger,
Yeah.
before I got saved, I was definitely
Before.
a ghoster because
Wow, Mom.
wait, what just happened?
You said before.
Hold on, yes, before I got saved, I was
You were.
definitely a ghoster, but that was
I mean, there are people who ghost us after being saved.
As
That's
in-
one-
People don't actually
People
say.
ghost, but I.
They do not say.
They said that
I
I
was just saying
No,
that.
say
You were
not
like-
saved.
You were like before.
No,
I got
because
saved,
when I got
was
saved,
like,
I would
yeah.
never. First of all, when I got saved, let me tell you why I would never get ghosted while I was saved. Me, if a guy was trying to pursue me, I was very clear. Like the person I'm with now, he literally had to be like, "Has someone hurt you?" Like I was like, "Yo," I literally had to be like, "Okay, so what you want? Why you want to talk to me? Why?"
Right.
But like I was very upfront because I'm like, the person that wants to be with me, he's not gonna be scared. He's not gonna turn away. He's gonna go through my security test, and he's gonna be like, I'm still here,
Nice.
standing.
TSA.
He's gonna go through TSA and be like,
Yes,
I'm
it
sorry, I
does.
would never get ghosted because these dudes wouldn't even, they didn't even want no smoke.
Oh,
before,
yeah.
when I got saved. Before I got saved, I had super commitment issues, so I was just like, I don't want any guys. Like I used to see girls get played, and I was just like, bro, I'm not about to get played. Like I'm not getting played. No. So like a guy would talk to me, and the second I felt like he wasn't serious, I would literally block people. My block game was
Still strong.
impeccable.
Still strong.
Impeccable. Like I would literally be
Yeah.
in the midst of a conversation. Something would be like, you don't like him anymore, and I would literally just block them.
But without closure?
Nemo would literally, my best
You
friend would
block
be
people,
like,
you know, there's
yo,
not closure.
no. My best friend would literally
It's
be
just
like,
wrong.
what's good
That's
with
it.
you? Like,
That's so
And
interesting.
you throw it to the back of your mind.
you throw it to the back of your mind.
That's what people
Go
do.
on with
like,
life. Yeah.
Yes, I
It
mean,
sounds so foreign to
it's
me.
so I think it's even it's almost regular. Like
Behave.
if a guy wild out, girls be like
Block.
and then be
That's
like,
true.
Block.
That's true.
Just block
That's
that
true.
shit.
Some guys. I mean, some guys they start things with girls, and then the girl has like way greater expectations, and then guys be like, this is too
Yeah,
much.
girls be doing first home.
Yeah, so like some guys be like, this
Dang,
is
how do I
too
know what
much.
it's like?
And
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
gotta
even
go.
trying to.
Yeah.
I'm not even. You know, and it sucks, but then they just be like, yeah, I'm about to just talk about it.
And that's why girls
You
need
know
to
what
be
I'm saying?
telling them in the very beginning. Don't be trying to bring these standards after you've been letting him do shit.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, 'cause
Hello. Like-
girls will allow like sex, kind of playful
Come
stuff,
on.
like
Yeah.
not girls, guys too. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But
Just be
people
letting
just
you know.
let people in, and then you get really confused and whatever when somebody disappears. It's like, well, honestly, you were more so of an itch that needed to be scratched.
Yeah.
Dang.
Or you were somebody.
Dang.
You were pretending to be somebody that you weren't.
In the beginning.
In the
Yeah.
beginning.
I mean, I have too many sisters. My approach is kind of just like, damn, I love my sisters, so I can't be ghosting like I seen them ghost.
Look at you.
Yo.
This guy's funny. He's so
Where
light
is
skinned at
she?
this moment.
Wait, that's it? That's
Can I add on to
Richie,
Richie?
that's it. Richie, that's it.
So-
Can I add on to
Just
Richie?
wait.
Is that actual? Is,
Never been ghosted, and I never ghosted.
Splash Bros, and this drip in your pool. Smash Bros, sudden death without tool.
I think it actually depends on what type of friend I'm dealing with. I think I have a lot of different friends, and not all of them are going to get the same amount of, I don't want to say attention, but the same response to conflict. And I think that's very important. Otherwise, you'll be spending your whole life resolving issues. I think it is important, though, for me that I go on with the heart that is very, where I'm very repentful, I should say, or I'm repenting towards a person where I'm not going there feeling like, yeah, I'm right, like, dang, like, yeah, you should have listened to me, but because I know I can get hot-headed, but I think it's important for me to kind of just hear them out and tell them how I can make the situation better. And then after I've calmed their nerves, that's when I let them have it. And then, you know, we talk about it. But that's specifically for people who I feel like this friendship isn't going anywhere. Not everybody can handle that type of conflict resolution. I think it's very important to know what type of friend you're doing that with, and also over communicate so that there aren't any like unspoken things or things that you still have on your heart that never got out. But it's important to lay it all out there and not let things build over time to the point where it's like, yeah, you always do this. Like when did I always
words.
start
like
doing that?
Words.
But yeah.
But you seem like a different type of guy because I don't feel like guys like do all that. I don't know, like, cause I could be wrong. That's what I'm saying, but my viewpoint on how guys resolve conflict is like they don't really. Well, I guess I'm thinking because it could be different when it's in the case of saved men compared to like.
I mean, let's talk about men.
Men? Okay. I just feel like guys just let things go. That's how I view things. Like they don't really over communicate. Let's talk. Hey, come over so we can talk about this issue. I don't see that.
And that's the thing though. But it's not always let go because then. One day it'll turn into, nah, this really be blowing me. I hate when he do this. Like it does turn into, they don't really let it go. That's why I brought up earlier that I think God makes you a better friend because you learn how to like navigate through some of your feelings and what part of it is me or why does this bother me? Why does this offend me so much? You start thinking about some of those things, but like you can't pass it by the water and just say like, yeah, nah, like we good, like. Even when he blow me, like, that's still my bro at the end of the day. I think that there are some times when you need to talk about your bro's faults and while y'all are laughing. Like,
yeah, so has it always been like that?
I think things get swept under the rug. It's not, we don't let things fly. It's not like, oh, we get over it easily or we let things go. Honestly, it's like, okay, if somebody upsets me, I think guys' tolerance level sometimes is a little deeper. Yeah, because of the fact, and I think it ties into the whole emotional piece we talked about earlier, where you know what I'm saying, like guys aren't taught or told to express that this thing hurt me, this thing made me feel this way. You know, you rarely would hear a guy say to another guy like, "Yeah, what you did really hurt my feelings."
I'm the type of person that is terrible with confrontation. Like, if you confront me about a problem, I'll probably laugh initially. Because, like, I just can't, I'm so, like, I want to smile so much that when problems come, I don't want to get mad.
It's because
and I feel like, no, I just think that I get angry so quickly that I want to avoid that anger so badly. It's like, if you approach me with a problem, it's like, I'm not going to address it as, like, as serious until, like, you're actually, like, Richie know, like, this is OC. And in those moments, that's when I over communicate. Where it's like, even if you tell me you forgive me, I'm like, let me just make sure, like, there's a little padding. Because someone once told me people are like banks. If you don't deposit enough, you can't withdraw enough. And I was like, kill, I'm going to move with that.
Yeah. One thing you mentioned, though, was that, like, sometimes your initial response might not be to just take it as serious or maybe, like, I guess respond the way the person is expecting you to. And I think that is something that's important to pay attention to because I think like when you don't make what's important to the other person important to you, it causes a lot of friction. And people are going to respond to it differently. Some people just never tell you what was wrong again. And then you'd be like, how come you never tell me? Like, you just started acting different or whatever. And then, well, last time in 2015 when I tried, like, stuff like that really does happen. And it's like, how long have you been holding on to? But then you can play a part in, like, helping people deal with their conflicts. And eventually you can grow to a relationship where you're, like, able to, and this is deep, but you're able to deal with their heart issues, like, bro, you shouldn't have been holding on to that for 3 years, but kind of like, yeah, we never talked about this, but that's why conflict is necessary in a relationship because it helps you grow and build on people's issues. But yeah.
I think I'm a little bit weird in the sense that generally my personality is like I try to point out the good every single time in people. So when I do have to bring up conflict, it makes me uncomfortable. So I don't know, it's weird like dealing with conflict with friends. Like if they do something wrong, I might, like you said, which is probably bad, I let it like slide the first time. I let it slide the second time because I like they didn't mean to say that to me or they didn't mean to speak badly. Like it was, I give a lot of people the benefit of the doubt, and then at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's not good. I've come to notice because I'll be like, dang, like you said, I use absolutes like, dang, like they really never do this or they really never do that. It's like not never, like they've done it before, but because I've been sweeping it under the rug, I'm not dealing with it, and so. Are you good, sis?
But I do think time and place matters because you don't want to be at a game night and then your friend does something and then in front of everyone, hey, why did you do that? Like, and then everyone's just looking. That's very awkward. Time and place matters. Time and place matters. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, delivery is important.
Delivery is
well,
important.
Well, absolutes are one thing I think. Just even like how, like what it is that you're saying in that space. So you could there's like the Oreo method. I think Noella was kind of alluding to that a little bit, but how like you compliment them first, and then like. But this is some areas that you can grow in, and it all depends on how close you are with that person. Like,
this is some areas.
I won't. No, for real. No,
Good job.
No, for it be taking time, but I'm not gonna let that stop me say something. But
I mean, we were like, he had issues with me with the way I treated certain things, and so. But the thing is, what you have to realize is when you don't tell your friend an issue you have with them, they may not know that that thing is an issue.
Yeah,
and then they continue it. So the thing that about me bothered him that, you know, like I did with him and then other people also, it just grew as an annoyance almost and created distance between us. Dang. So then by the time, you know, he's actually telling me about it, I'm like, oh snap, like I didn't know I was like that towards, so you know, your friend may not even know that they're a certain way, you know what I'm saying, just because off the strength. So then when he said it, you know, I'm like, okay, let me watch my words and kind of like, watch this thing. You know, some people may have gotten offended. For me, I was always taught like, okay, and to take it like into a more spiritual sense, like, okay, if the devil brings something about you to the Lord, right, and kind of says, oh, this person is this kind of way to God about you, it's not, like, the devil isn't stupid, nor neither is God. There's an ounce of that thing that made him take it to the Lord. So it's like, if an accusation is brought against you, still check yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if something is said, it didn't come from nowhere. Yeah. You know, so if somebody calls me selfish, even though I don't think I'm selfish, I'm gonna ask them, how do you think that? You know, whatever. But the issue is people don't, you know, people get offended, defensive, because, you know, they came from households where, you know, they were attacked and they had to attack back. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Or when they're corrected, they feel like you're attacking their personality, and not just that.
Or even
like it's personal.
Yeah.
Or even the tone. If you grew up in an African household, like everything is yelling, like that's how my tone is when I'm upset with you. I'm gonna yell at you, but that's not how you need to deliver things. So I was actually listening to a Jimmy Evans podcast, and I learned something new about guys. I was like, wow, the #1 thing on their like value system is respect. So tone is way over, like you could be saying something like so polite, but if your tone is off, it's like it goes in one ear and out. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but your tone, it could, I mean, growing up, if you grew up in an African household, you need to correct, okay, if I'm talking to somebody, I'm not going to be yelling, because that's not how you communicate with people. So.
Especially someone like me where the tone can be off and the words that I'm saying, like I may not have to curse at you, but the way I put my words together, it like pierces deep, so that's why I try to like, that's why I like to do fluff. make it sound a little better, because the way I can say something, you'll really be like, wow,
what is going on?
Yeah, it didn't have to come that
like me.
Are we friends?
I'd rather you say it
bad. It depends on the person.
I'd be like, son, you're annoying. That's really
No, I'd rather you say it bad, and then if I get offended, clean it up, and then be like, you shouldn't have gotten offended. But rather than you to be doing, I mean, sometimes you just kind of a little bit, just have a little, but like, no, tell me what is really going on.
But you also gotta be respectful of people. So like, if somebody is your friend and you know that this is how they're gonna receive something, maybe you need to be also a friend in that moment, and you know, add fluff. Like just like you were saying earlier, you know, everything is not led by emotions, but people's emotions are important. So if you have a friend that is maybe a sensitive friend, you can't just go rah at them because you just know how they're going to react. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get your point across. You just got to work a little bit harder in figuring out how you're going to get it across.
I think there's a difference between adding fluff and being sensitive.
Yeah, being sensitive.
I agree. Not empty fluff.
Like, you add fluff though because they're being sensitive?
No, I mean, I think you should. So I think that's a part of this whole societal thing where, you know, like people can't get real rap raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to talk to you. Like, if I have bad news to tell you, let me tell you. Not oh, you know, when, I just think it's very useless to kind of, now I think word choice is highly important. I think it's more, so I think you can deliver your message and like, you just have to really, really, really have good wording, you know, and some people don't have that, so it's like, you know, I just say things and I got it out and whew, that was good, I got it out, but by the time you finish, you didn't finish that person.
Yeah. Besides you guys,
Finish your friendship. Finish everything that you built.
You know what I do? Quick tip, guys. I write my notes down. I put them in my notes. If I have something, like if I'm planning on having a big conversation with somebody, I'll write it down in my notes. And I actually go to the extent of saying, if they say they have no idea what I'm talking about, if they say, okay, I understand, if they say, like, yeah, I go, like, if it's that kind of person, though, who's going to be like, oh, what are you talking about? I'm literally like, this is what you say if they respond.
People say that's a cover up. It's not even.
Oh, okay, but yeah, if you're gonna do a cover up, I got the receipts.
Right.
I do that when I'm listening, and you're like, because when people are telling you about yourself, they're a lot of times they're saying very specific things. But if it's been a while, they'll be saying a number of things. So sometimes I'll be writing down what you're saying. So when you mentioned that, no, because let's really talk about it. Like, I don't want to just, oh yeah, by the way, you stink. And then, but I think, like, let's talk about what's good.
All right, well, this is the end of Think Like a Man versus Think Like a Woman. Do you guys want to say your handle so they can follow you?
Follow me at Richie the Wiz, WHIZ on
Why you
everything.
yelling, bro?
If you want to listen to my music,
This is so out of order, but okay.
You can find me on YouTube, on Insta, like on everything. So just put in that.
Actually,
make sure you add the send sign.
Like when people tweet you, they're next to say.
Gabe, what's your handle? What do you do?
That's so aggressive. Hey, yo, Bob. My social media handle is Blue G Day on all social media. So.
And what do you do?
What do I do? I do everything. I don't know.
You sing, and then you also are on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even gonna say the podcast.
I'll be checking out Project 330 at Proj EROJ 330 on IG. You know what I'm saying? No, step. You know, so check us out. So check out the podcast and all that.
Wait, what's happening?
Mo Diggs is weak over there.
Yeah, she's tired. I don't know what's happening.
Let her rock.
Look, he's making me look like I'm crazy, and I'm geeky, but he's wild. Make sure you guys. Wow, this is not my video.
Make sure you guys subscribe.
I'm gonna say that.
Leave a comment.
Okay. So follow me on Instagram.
Wait, whoa. I felt that.
So make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. It's at Moedigga, which is MOEEDI 3GSA. And I'm also found on a Convo with Mo podcast on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts, and I have a YouTube channel, and I also have an online store called At The Diff Shop. So make sure you guys go and cop some merchandise.
And you just came out with something.
I did just come out with something new, God Working We Watching shirts, as well as new God of My Rose shirts, and I know you guys are really feeding for the yellow God of My Rose sweatshirts. They're coming back too.
The Diff Shop.
The Diff Shop. At The Diff Shop. So THEDIFFSHOP.
Noella?
Oh, and my boyfriend too.
Everybody knows.
You can follow me on Instagram at Noella Machiri and on Twitter at _HurdleClub.
She's very funny on Twitter.
Which one? Oh, Noella Machiri, NOELLAMACHIRI.
I'm gonna put on this.
Yeah, so we have do spelling.
You forgot you're thinking of this podcast.
Fellas, make sure you get.
Oh!
Say hey, beautiful.
Hey, fellas.
Alright,
I'm alright.
Oh my gosh. She's quick. I'm alright. Don't hit me.
Is it good?
But if you know who you are, then.
Oh!
Whoa, wait. If you know
What's
what is
going on?
the Lord, or
What's
if we
going on?
already.
Yeah.
Is it?
If you want some to have to drink.
Oh my god!
All right, Mario, let's go you.
Go ahead, Drew.
You guys can follow me on Instagram at God_Israel. All I do is post about Jesus. I mean, if you have any prayer requests, I can pray for you. I post to my friends a lot, and I'm in grad school, so if that's important to you, feel free to follow me.
Why are you telling
Make
yourself
sure
like
that you
that?
tell me that you're following me from the YouTube page. So I can ask you, how can I pray for you? Is there anything that you're dealing with that I can encourage you in? So, yeah.
He's serious, bro.
I know he's serious, but I love it. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe.
Wait, who are you?
Everybody. Okay,
This is your channel.
this is my channel.
Right.
But
5 years of KP.
I'm section down below if you have anything you want to add. Put a comment down below, and that's it. Peace and blessings.
No, seriously, if I can pray for you, let me know. Since we're being able to encourage you all, I know that it's holiday season. A lot of times people get lonely and they start feeling like, well, I don't really have anyone to spend this season with. I feel depressed and a lot is going on. So let me know how I can be praying for you, how I can encourage you. Know that there is a hope that I have, and His name is Jesus. Right, Noella?
You don't want to know more about somebody.
No, so in addition to that, remember, through whatever it is that you're going through, He loves you. I know we talked a lot about insecurities and conflicts, and sometimes it's like you're hearing people talk about conflicts with friends, and you might not have any, right? I want you to know that Jesus wants to be your friend. He really does. No, sometimes we get in over our head and like, dang, I wish this applied to me. I want you to be encouraged and know that there's a God who loves you. And as I'm praying for you as you're watching this video, I hope that you are encouraged. All right, thanks for tuning in, you guys. Have a great one. Hi guys, it's Israel. You're watching Disney Channel. This isn't a one.
Part 1.
I know how.
Hey guys, it's your girl Kimberly P, and welcome back to my channel, KP Sparks. Hey guys, it's your girl Kimberly P, and welcome back to my channel, KP Sparks. Did you get it right? Okay. Hey guys, it's your girl Kimberly P. Welcome back to my channel, KP Sparks.
Yeah.